This is not, Pete, not lecture. Isn't that good news?
Yeah. Very.
This is interactive stuff today. You guys are going to participate in this. We're going to get started with your participation really quickly here. But before we do that, I want to tell you a couple of things to kind of get us going here. Ms. Susie mentioned about the writing of the book. This came about because I was coming back from an interview of my own once and thinking, wow, I really nailed that baby. And the longer I drove, the more I realized how badly I screwed it up. So I got to thinking, you know, with all this gray hair, wouldn't it be nice if I passed along some of this accumulated wisdom to people so they wouldn't make the same mistakes that I made on that particular interview and others? I've been on both sides of the table, interviewing people for jobs and interviewing myself for jobs. So this goes back a lot of years. And these workshops came out of not only deciding to write the book on the subject, but also because I had done this for my own students in my own classes. And their resumes came back and they were like, awful. And I thought, well, these can't be the only students on campus like this, right? There's probably some other people that need some help. So the more workshops I've done, the more I found, yeah, that's really true. And if you don't write a business letter very well, or you don't do resumes very well, or whatever, it's not your fault. Nobody's ever taught you how to do it. I'm making that assumption. That's probably true for most of you. So it's not your fault if you don't know how to do it, and that's what we're going to do today. Here's the one thing that you have to take away from this. Just one thing today. How to set yourself apart from all the other people who apply for the job that you want. And that's what you have to do. The statistics are that about 2 years ago, about 2.5 years ago, there was about between 1 and 2 people, workers, for every job that was available in this country. Today, the figure is 6.5, which means at the very least, you're going to have to beat out 5 other people to get the job. So the odds are 5 to 1 against you already. In a lot of professions, the odds are even higher. When I applied for this job and got this job several years ago, there were about 220 applicants. So you've got to beat out a lot of people to get that one job. So my task today is to show you how to be that one person, because that's what you have to be. You have no other choice. If you aren't that one person, you're going to keep looking for a job, right? Okay, so first thing, anybody know what I mean by the term digital dirt? Take a wild guess.
Like the stuff on the internet?
Stuff on the internet, thank you. Stuff on the internet, especially stuff you wouldn't want your mom to see. So if you got that thing posted up there when you got all blasted, you know, last Saturday night, you might see about getting it down. Because here's the truth of the matter today when you go looking for a job. Whether it's fair or not, whether you like it or not, the truth is employers go on the internet looking for you just for stuff like that. And a lot of times they find it. And that will kill you. So don't do anything dumb that you wouldn't want your mom to see, because someday it's going to come back to haunt you. Okay. We're going to start today with the business of resume. Miss Susie, would you mind helping me get this? Now, don't look at this. You're going to get this face down. Face down. Don't turn it up yet. I'm giving you these 2 samples because there's a lot wrong on these. And we're going to find out what's wrong about them. But you're going to be able to tell me what's wrong with this one right away. It's already face down. And by the way, the answer is not, it's blank on the back side. It's supposed to be blank. Somebody told me that yesterday. They said it's blank. I know it's blank. So, somebody tell me what's wrong with this already.
The thickness of the paper, or
What about the paper?
It's shiny paper.
Yeah, it's the wrong paper. There's only one kind of paper to use for resume. Only one. We call it 24-25 paper. It's 24-pound bond paper with 25% cotton, and that's all you use. It's all white all the time. Nothing else. Why? Because your competitors aren't going to. Remember, I said just one thing you have to remember. How to set yourself apart, and it's all about little details, little bitty details. It's not about big stuff. Anybody can do the big stuff right. You're going to learn how to do the small things right. The first thing is the paper. Get it right. Now, if this is an electronic submission, obviously the paper doesn't make any difference. It isn't a paper transaction. But if you're sending this in by paper, the only paper you send them is 24-25 paper. It's expensive. It's about 10 cents a sheet, but how bad do you want the job? 4 or 5 sheets of paper, 50 cents. It's probably worth that. Your competitors won't do that. You know how I know that? Because I've been doing this a long time, and I can count on one hand with fingers left over the other the people who will use good bond paper. Not very many. Let me tell you about the other impetus before we flip this thing over. Let me tell you about the other motivator I had for doing this. Last fall, our department getting ready to hire someone to fill in a spot in our department. We got just over 100 applications. Somebody give me a number, a percentage number. What percentage of those applications do you think that we got had mistakes on the application package?
90%.
Very close, 92%. That means there were only 8 of the applications turned in that were actually good. And you know what? All these people are supposed to be smart. They were required to have graduate degrees, at least a master's. Many of them had doctoral degrees. And some of them were just so bad I couldn't even figure out who had sent it in. Their name wasn't anywhere on it. One person sent it to the wrong school. They went to Michigan State University, but it was delivered here. The cover letter said Michigan State University. What are these people thinking? Well, I know what they were doing. I know what they were doing. They had one cover letter for everybody, and they forgot to change the address. Bad practice. Don't ever write like that. We're talking about cover letters. We're going to talk about how not to do that.